Hey guys, this is Hell Hades back with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today we're doing an account takeover for Onyxia.
God, I came over feeling all weird there. Anyway, right, let's get into this account takeover. So we've got Onyxia. Onyxia, level 68. He's crazy, kind of farming his way through. Been in the game, what, 160 days? So, what, about 5 months? 5 months in. This Great Hall is a problem. This Great Hall is a problem. So, the main purpose of this takeover is to boost clan boss damage. We're doing kind of brutal at the minute. This is going to be a big reason as to why we're struggling to get further than brutal. Like, I don't know what, I guess maybe just wasn't seeing guides and stuff. It's not new news now, guys. Pump out the accuracy, pump out some crit damage, pump out your defense. Yes, focus on one area if that's where your strongest champs are, but let's have a look. Maybe it is. Maybe that's why we've done it. See, we've got a lot. This is kind of almost this. These three here are your bones of your team, which are all force. Force again. Force 1, 2, 3, 4 force champs that are almost certainly going to be in the mix here for this team. And this Great Hall has had no love to force. So that's a massive, massive kind of piece of feedback I'll give to Onyxia. That's where he needs to go. But in terms of his account, let me just pull up his details a sec. So what he's after is he's currently Free Keys Nightmare. Sorry, he's not brutal. Free Keys Nightmare. Looking to improve that, and we can see there from the team that we just looked at. You know, this is a strong team, but even stronger would be to take him out, keep this here, and then put a Razin in this spot, and that becomes way stronger straight away. We just speed tune, strengthen it up, and I think we'll do easily better than Free Key and Nightmare. So that's the challenge. Let's have a look at the builds then before we get into this. So I mean, Warlord would be great in the clan boss team as well, but you don't need him with Vizier. So Vizier, we should be rocking 170 plus speed and good defense and good accuracy. So that's the kind of three main stats I'm looking at, and it looks like we kind of pushed a ton of attack into this build. This must be attack percentage, yeah. Crit damage, yeah. So Vizier is not made to do damage. That's not his role. He's made to extend debuffs. He will extend here, but he's running so slow that I just can't see he does his job right. Let's check Razin out. Razin, pretty slow again. Okay defense, a bit low. The rest of it is fine. Bad L, it's probably going to be in the mix here. Good, good. This is a nice build. Let's check out our Skull Crusher. Skull Crusher needs to be 171 or so speed. Too slow. So it feels like we've got a bit of a speed issue. We've also got quite a lot of accuracy here, so I'll check that out as well. And let's check Tayrell out. Tayrell's in Lifesteal Gear. Bit slow. Yeah, it just feels like the builds are a little bit all over the place. Very slow here. So we need to fix the speeds and then build up the defenses. And then I think we're just on for a good key. So let's get to work. Let's get going. And I will come back in once I've done some of this rebuild. So I'm going to start with this Skull Crusher build. Now, what do I want to do here? Ideally, I want to get about 3.5k defense. I want him to be in Lifesteal Gear. I want to get to 171 speed, and I want to lose the accuracy. That's kind of what I'm going for. Masteries look fine. That's good. So let's have a look then. We must have accuracy here. Yeah, we do. No speed. There's no reason to have that piece on. So ideally, you have a defense banner. We've got no defense banners. If you don't have a defense, you could go for HP. So we do have an HP one here. I'd rather have one with speed on it. So maybe what we got here, plus 11 speed. I lose a bit of accuracy. I think I'll go with this. I'll take the speed and I'll show you the reason why. So if I can punch his speed up, these can't be speed boots and they're not. So if I can punch his speed up, potentially I can get defense boots on him. That would be like the absolute dream, would be to have some defense boots on him with a speed substat, or defense boots on him in general. I don't think we're going to do it on this account. I think this account is just too underleveled with kind of gear and stuff. So we flip that into speed boots. Ideally, we have 5-star speed boots in lifesteal. That's what we're after. Something like this with defense on it, with HP on it, or with crits. Yeah, this is good. So we take these, and instantly the speed flies up, and we've got a chance. So once the speed's up, I can then start to play around. I mean, look, we've got resistance chest on here. So the build should be on pretty much anyone you're running with Clan Boss. Defense on your chest. Defense on the chest is so important. And the only person we need in lifesteal, because we're running Bad L, the only person we need in lifesteal is going to be Skull Crusher. Everyone else we can run outside of lifesteal sets. So we're going to put the defense chest on him here. We could even go for a big speed defense chest and make one of these into lifesteal. But you can see like fundamental issues in the way they're built. Flat stat, resistance, and this was flat stat HP. They're just, the fundamentals of the build are wrong. I say this a lot on my Twitch stream. So the first thing you want to do is get your accuracy right. For this guy, the accuracy right means low accuracy, yeah? Second thing you want to do is get your speed to the right place, and then you want to build up defensive stats. Once you've got your defensive stats, you then build damage. So it's ASDDs, yeah? ASDs is what we call it. Accuracy, speed, defense, damage. That's the order. And at the moment, this is just kind of all over the place. So we're going to replace this for defense. We're going to ideally replace this for either defense or crit rate. And then we're going to get better gear up the top. Let's work it through. I feel like just looking at the pieces that are on here, a good filter to do just to see if you're holding on to a load of rubbish gear is just to get those 3 bottom items and click on flat stat HP, flat stat attack, flat stat defense. Pretty much, and if I click equipped as well, all of these items, 152, are basically junk. All of these ones rolled up to 16, basically junk when you're endgame. Pretty much sitting here in a pile, a heap of junk. You know, how much in silver have we invested in this, in this, in this, in this? All of these items, you know what it costs you to level something to 16. It costs a lot. The only time when I can kind of justify it is if I'm seeing speed as a substat in one of these pieces. Not these boots. These boots are all junk. All junk, all junk, all junk, all junk. Tons of stuff in here, which is just going straight in the bin. Yeah, so, I mean, look at all these level to 16. Just because they're legendary, just because you've bought them out of a pack, if that's what's happened here. This, maybe I could justify it for that double speed roll, but basically it's not good. It's not good gear. So once you've done that filter there, the next filter I do to just check on bad gear is to click attack percentage on gloves, like this. All of these are lacking in quality compared to anything that's crit based. Apart from this, like real niche situations where you might choose it. If you had a bomb champion, you might push for attack over crit. It's so rare though. Everyone else in the game, you would want crit over attack percentage. So unless these have got crazy crits, crit rate, crit damage sub rolls on, these are all gone as well. So you can see there instantly, we've got another 27 there. So we've got about 200 pieces out of everything. How much have we got here in total? 200 pieces out of 671, which instantly are rubbish and just need to be sold off. And then we see actually what level of gear we've actually got in this account. So I'm going to do that now. Then we'll gear people up and yeah, see where we get to. Okay, so we've done a lot of regearing here. We've moved from kind of like skull crushers in resistance chests. We had an accuracy chest on, our Razin. It's not the end of the world, but you really want to push your defense up on people like that. So the whole kind of regearing process has gone on. Just changed the jewelry items here. This was probably the worst case of just somebody that's in weird gear. Just weird gear for what he does. So Vizier is all about extending debuffs. He's all about making your team do more damage by continuously ramping up debuffs. He is not all about hitting hard. It's just not what he does. With all this attack, there's nothing about this build that makes any sense to me whatsoever. So what we're going to do is just switch to a speed of 173 to 189, just so he falls in line with what we've already done with Skull Crusher. We can still try and give him a bit of like crit and stuff so that when he does hit, he hits a reasonable amount, but it's just all about stacking that defense up. If we can get the defense level up on him, then he will just last tons of time longer. Even Stalwart set, brilliant set for him if we could do it. But this is about as bad as it's going to get. So, what? I don't know what he's been using him for. Maybe he's just not been in the Clan Boss team. Because this is weird as well. Let's just change this. So, what do we want on a Vizier? We just want... He's got a multi-hit, so he's going to want Giant Slayer. But you kind of just want to come down like this. He's not about damage, this guy. That's not what his role is. He is about giving your team the ability to play compositions that just completely change from anyone else. So he is just about giving you more debuff extension. That's all it is. It's just, that's all he's there for, debuff extension. Nothing else in his kit is particularly good. This is what's good, this A1. So with this A1 lighting up, we will just do a ton more poisoning through him. We'll keep our decreased attack and weaken and decreased defense. All of those things will stay on longer just because of Vizier. So I'll change all of this. I'll show you the final builds on everyone, but just a good example of, you know, probably either this gear was bought or he's managed to farm some very high level attack. I'd imagine it was bought. He's probably looked at it and thought, great, but actually it's not great gear. It's good gear for somebody, not for this guy. Okay, so I feel like we are fixed. We've got a Skull Crusher now, 172 speed, high defense, in life steal gear, high HP, so he's going to stay alive a long time. He brings ally protection as part of his kit, so his A2's got ally protection. We're going to pair him up with Sandlash Survivor, who also brings this ally protection here. She is a beast, as I've said before in other videos. She's a bit faster. I would have preferred a bit more crit and damage in her build, but she's there to protect the team as well. So 2 protection champs. The reason for that is because we've got Vizier. Vizier brings something very unique to this game. He can just extend your debuffs on and on and on. So we have got counterattack, protection. We've then got ourselves decreased defense and weaken in a Razin. Razin's got 185 speed, so he's quite fast. He's probably a bit faster than I would like. High defense, good crit rates for Clan Boss, and good accuracy. We've got Bad L, who's going to be our cleanser. I would prefer for Bad L to be faster than Razin. That's the only kind of fault right now. But high defense again. Bad L's our poisoner here. And then we've got Vizier just coming over the top of that with Stalwart gear. And basically he's going to extend all those debuffs. So Vizier is going to be our decreased attack champ. I don't always do this. We could put Tyrell in the mix. I think this is the better setup for us. I could have put Sandlash. I could have swapped Sandlash and Tyrell, but I actually think Sandlash is the better person in this setup. So we're going to try this out then. Let's get it going. I'll show you actually everyone's masteries quick as well. I did cleanse out a ton of gear as well. So there's a ton of gear now that's just gone binned off. I could easily cleanse out tons more, like all of this 4-star stuff, which I probably will. But well, actually, let me just show you a little bit of that just while it's on video. So in this account at this level, look how much attack gear we've got, look how much life gear we got. These are now the lesser sets. You know, you don't need as much of this. You need speed, you need crit damage, you need accuracy, you need your life steal gear. You need probably 1 set, maybe 2 sets of days, 1 set of frost. But you know, all of this gear is probably dead. All of this gear is definitely dead unless it's amazing pieces, the destroy sets. Most of the toxic sets dead. Retaliation, avenging, and then yeah, that's probably it. So there's probably a good another 100 pieces that I'm going to cleanse out of this, just because it does, you know, you just don't need 4 different weapons in this set. Unless you've got one amazing one, then you will get rid of most of it. So I just kind of go through. This is a great piece, so we keep that, but most of this is now gone. So I'm probably keep a couple of sets of gloves. A defense chest would be nice to keep hold of. Speed here. So you see what I'm doing? I'm just kind of cleansing out the crap and leaving the good stuff. So I'll go ahead and do that. But let's get into this build. So masteries, we've gone, because we've got Vizier, you can go defensive masteries on everyone. You don't need to do your extend your debuffs in Master Hexa. Vizier is going to do that for us. So same, oh, we don't have masteries yet here. Let me do that quick. Unchecked is actually. So we need to go similar to what we did with the Vizier build. In fact, the same as the Vizier build. We don't need to go down the accuracy route. Normally, if we weren't running Vizier, we probably would take it down the accuracy route to extend that debuff as much as possible. But because we've got Vizier, it changes everything in the game for us. We go down this defensive route. Same here, defensive route. Same here, and Sandlashed as well. Yeah, so very different if you've got a Vizier in the team. It just kind of changes everything up. So we're going to go into Nightmare and see what we can do. Tayrail's out of the arrangements. So we're going to sit Sandlashed in as our lead. Sandlashed can take the stuns. That's fine. We're then going to put our Vizier in next. He's going to go second, then like this, and then lastly Skull Crusher. So this is the order they're going to retaliate. If you were throwing a different poisoner in, then you put Vizier further back, probably like in this spot. But that should be good to go. And this should be a completely auto comp. That's what's nice here. So right from the start, you should be able to go auto, and we will get what we want. So we get the decrease. So we get the poisons out. We're going to get the extension going right from the start. Here we go, already up to 3 ticks of that poison. That poison will just kind of, it takes a bit of time to get it on with someone like a bad elf, because you have to rotate through his abilities a few times. But still is going to be strong. We've got ourselves the decreased attack on. You do get 2 debuffs that you don't want with a Vizier, but it's still worth it for the benefit you're going to get. So you can see here, we're just going to be kicking out a decent amount of damage per turn. Everybody's going to sink into line because we've done that 171 to 189 speed, with Skull Crusher being the slowest. The stun goes in on the Sandlashed. We should just get that cleansed off from Bad L here. There's the cleanse. We get the more poisons put up as well at the same time. Hopefully we get decreased defense coming on from our Razin next. That's the only thing we're missing till it got resisted. And then as soon as that's on, it's just going to be the last poison that kicks in, and then it's literally just let it run. So there it goes. Decreased defense is on. We've got, what, 9 debuffs up. Next one's going to be the final poison. And this is a pretty clean team. Very, very easy to let this run now. And all you're really doing, if you want to upgrade it, is just kind of pulling in better gear pieces as you get them. So we're going to let this run through. Hopefully we're going to be smashing the kind of free key nightmare that he was doing before. You know, we've got 2 people out in Stalwart set. We've got heals coming from Bad L. 2 people with ally protection. We've got a Sandlash that's extending the buffs, so we're getting an extra sort of tick of heal. So all of this should lead to a good result. I'll let you know. So as I said, we were free key in Nightmare, which meant we must have been doing around 15 million max. So we're at 23.5 million here with this setup. This shows like all of the gear's already here, the champs are already here, and he's got a great setup. He's got a great setup for Clan Boss, and I could have chosen perhaps 2 or 3 more champs to filter in and play around with, but you know, you had naturally a great setup, and yeah, just needed to pick the right champs and gear them in the right way. It sounds simple, obviously, when you say it like that, but you know, it's just sometimes it's just crazy. It's crazy the difference you can make. So we're pretty much going to be coming on to double their damage. Look at the amount of ticks we've got up as well on each of these different debuffs. Shows how insane Vizier is. I don't even use my Vizier anymore because I kind of run a different comp, but it's the first time I've used a Vizier in ages. But it just kind of reminds me how insane he is. You know, these debuffs will never drop off. So as long as you can make your team pretty tanky and survive a long time, we're going to do a ton of damage. You know, we're basically up now to double damage, and we're talking Nightmare Clan Boss. So And the good thing here is when you're doing this sort of damage on Nightmare, pretty much you're ready for Ultra Nightmare. Pretty much, you know, there's not many times that you won't be able to step up from a 28 million team and hit Ultra Nightmare straight away with that same team. And he's got kind of all the components. The only thing that perhaps you might want in this team that we're missing is an increased defense champ. You know, increased defense is really useful. So if there was an Ultan in the mix, then that would really help. But look, we're coming up now 29, 30 million. We're still rocking on. We're at turn 35. Yeah, after turn 20, the clan boss hits bloody hard, really hard. So, you know, it just shows the capability of this team here with the champs that he's got and the gear that we've got. And the gear is not like world-class gear. You know when you've got your gear right because you start dying to slams instead of dying to AoEs. And I think we're probably going to be around that sort of area. I think we're probably just about going to be dying to slams rather than AoEs with the gear that we're wearing, because everybody's pretty stacked with defense. So we're already at 32 mil, and we know we're going to get probably a couple more mil just from the poisons ticking down as people start to die. This is the big test. This AoE hit here. It's big. Skull Crusher took a big kind of brunt of that. We've still got all of these heals ticking away. Bad L throws out nice heals for us anyway. We should just about get the life back again. So we're kind of back around to a full rotation. See that? See how close she is to dying now from that slam? And she is stacked. You saw her stats. She is stacked with defense. We might even one key. We might even one key. It's close. It's going to be close. I think we're probably just short of a one key here. But you know, to move from 15 odd million with what we're at about two and a bit times now. 2 and a bit times that damage. Still doing it because Sandlash took the brunt of that one. We're still going, guys. This is actually nuts. Nuts improvements here. You know, bear in mind we've got 2 people here in lifesteal gear. The rest of them are in sort of different sets. We've got 2 in stalwarts, 2 in lifesteal here. Look at how many debuffs we've got on those poisons. 44 stacks. So there he goes. He's just died, or she's just died, sorry, to the slam, which is about perfect. It's about as good as this team could have done. And you see how much this Skull Crusher's now. Skull Crusher will die in this next AoE. There's no way he can withstand another AoE hit, I don't think. Even if he heals to full here, which he didn't, I think he would die here anyway, because he's still taking half of that damage. But we are so close to a 1 key here. 38 mil. Can we just get over the line? That's the question. Someone's going to die to a slam here. Bad L. Gonna get another load of poisons ticking. This is everyone dying, is it? Not quite. 39 mil. Come on, Vizier. 39,446. Is that enough? I think that's enough, is it? 39. Yes. 1 keyed it. Woo! 1 keyed it. That is. That's good going. That's a screenshot back to Anixia to say, check this out, buddy. I'll tell you what, we can't even try Ultra Nightmare. That's a shame. I feel like that team probably 3 keys Ultra Nightmare in its same setup. Damn, that is good stuff. Right, let's get on with fixing some other stuff in this account. Okay, so we're just going to jump in and do a couple of dungeons here. What have I done? Actually, let me show you what I've done quick. I have put some speed into Warlord and some accuracy so his kit actually works. I had already done the clan boss guys. I've just made Ray faster. She's going to do some damage now. Lysandra, we've thrown a bunch of speed here on Lysandra, so she's going to be good to go for any dungeons, arena, anything we want there. Sylar, we've thrown into some stun gear. I've boosted crit rate on our Gaelic and some accuracy. We don't have another banner. It's not enough accuracy. It's not enough, so he's still lacking. I've not done too much here. Still really slow. Everyone's so slow. Can we find another set of speed boots here that we're not using? Man, everyone is so slow. We'll see. We might not need him. We might not need him yet. We might not need him. Where is... this guy? Again, so slow, man. It's crazy, crazy speed. So let's just see what we can do. Most of the champs that I need are ready to go. So we're just going to plow on and see if we can get some of these level 20s done. So Lysandra, I think, is just going to be in most of these teams for that speed boost and that nuke. This is nice. 1, 2. We're going to want Bad L in there. Sandlash is actually very good here as well, but I've not got Sandlash built to do damage. Maybe this. Maybe this works. But the main thing is just to get these levels on farm to start with. Before we start thinking about speed farming, it's just can we get them on farm? And maybe it would have been better to get the Royal Guard done. So we can think about it if this doesn't work. But for now, we see how much control we've got in this team here. We've got such good champs in this account. It's just gearing all the time. Gearing. So we've got here stun set on this silo. You see she's just thrown out the stuns for us. These guys are not getting a turn. We have got poisons coming out from Bad L. We have got ourselves speed manipulation from Lysandra. We've got speed manipulation from Warlord and from the Ray. So everybody is in there just basically being annoying, getting us through the waves. You saw on stage 19, we'd only managed 11 minutes. So if we do this in less than 5 minutes, we're way ahead of where we were on the previous stage. And this stage has not been possible yet. So again, tons of wave control here, tons. Which means that these front two that normally cast that reflect damage won't even get a chance to. They'll be dead long before they get a chance. So feels like this team is going to be successful. I'll whiz it through to the boss so you can see that as well. So the main thing on the boss then, we get a defense break from our Ray. Ray's got a defense break on our A1. We get poisons and cleanses from our Bad L. We get shielding from our Warlord. Some big nukes coming in from Ray as well. So Ray does 2 things for us here. Sylar really was in there for wave control more than anything. So she's not going to do tons here. But you see, we are just in pretty good shape. Warlord giving us the heals. Bad L will give us the heals. This is such a safe team that I can't see there's any way we don't do it. If we went a bit more dynamic and perhaps put Royal Guard in instead of Sylar, then you'll probably speed the run up, but you'll be much less safe in terms of the kill. So this is a clear. Let's move on to the next dungeon and I'll show you that as well. So we did it first time around in about 5 minutes. Actually ended up taking a long time. We lost 2 people from a nuke. So I switched in Takeover instead of Sylar. Brought that decrease attack on the boss, which just made it much smoother. 3 minutes 11, stage 20 done. Let's move on with our lives. So Dragon 20, we've actually gotten a decent farm time here. This will only improve it. So what we've got here, so let's see what we can do with this. I think we'll just go Ray lead for the speed. Like this. And like this. Almost the same team. So we're just kind of mixing up the same champs in different comps. We don't get the bonus of speed kind of affecting the boss from Lysandra, but just to keep your team with a speed aura all the time, not speed aura, sorry, a speed buff all the time, help yourselves through the waves. It's just going to rotate those abilities quicker and quicker. So, when we're on the main boss, we're going to get poisons out of our Bad L. When we are on the waves, we're going to get round to our decreased defenses quicker, and nukes from the Ray quicker, AoEs from our Sylar to keep the debuffs up. So everything here, again, should be very, very comfortable to get through to next stage. 40 odd seconds onto wave 2. Nobody's taken a hit yet. I don't think we're going to take a hit again. It's actually quite interesting how effective that Ray's decreased attack is. Better than I thought, actually. Sorry, decreased defense, decreased defense. I thought her ability to land it was worse than it is. but she seems to pretty consistently put it out there. So we're going to get through to the boss actually in about 1:10, I think, without taking a single hit. That's the crazy thing about this lineup. We don't take hits. So it's probably going to be something like a 2-minute clear total. Get the decreased defense out, decreased attack out. We're going to have the poisons running. Actually resisted the poisons there. That might take a little bit longer. Surprised it resisted poisons. But anyway, decreased attack on with everybody here. We're going to get the nukes going. Probably just about going to get through this purple bar. We should get the bad L cleanse coming through as well. There it is. Poison's gone on this time. Great. So yeah, so this is going to be a clear. I'll skip it through to the next dungeon. So here we go. Get rid of that one before it ends up on someone. 2:58 is pretty good. That'll be a consistent clear time. I don't know if the best time he's had there was that consistent. Let's move on then. Where are we at with Fire Knights? So Fire Knights, again, you know, we've got good champs for this. Not too bad. That one's too slow. Okay, so take her out. We're going to put in Alessandra again. This all feels good. Bring in our drop defense. Could even bring in our Raz in here, or our Sandlashed, or we could leave him in. Or Bad Elf. Let's do Bad Elf. She's trying to see what this team. Actually, we could have bought a Ray in as well. Ray would have been just as probably even better. You've seen what this team can do. We can get through to the boss fine. I'm actually going to skip it through. We're going to clear 19 easy. I'm sure we will with this setup. I'm going to try and get us through to 20 as well. So I'll skip this through now, show you when we get in towards the boss on 20. Okay, so we're coming on auto 20. We just took a bit of a pound at the end there. I've actually got 1, 2, 3 people that can drop defense, not defense, turn meter in this setup. We bought in Skull Crusher just to give us a bit more survivability for stage 20. And it's not the quickest in the world, but it is job done just. If this account had more accuracy in the Great Hall, everything would be easier because we just get the odd resist, and that resist is from this. If we just push the ever +5, +10, +10, if we were here level 60s across the board, we would be getting through the Fire Knights so much easier. This is a bit low, but we don't. Maybe we do have another one, do we? I think we've used them all. I've got one more. Actually, we put that on. So it kills the speed, which you kind of need for the arena, but she actually does need the accuracy just to make sure she's gonna land those moves. So just leveling that up, getting it to 200 gives us a better chance. Similar with the Heart Seekers, we're just at 200. We land it most times, not every time. He's always landing his stuff. He's a bit low as well. See this? So we could just roll this up, but we're running low on silver. So we're going to leave it for now. Both of those items do need to be rolled up, and the Great Hall needs some work. The only one I've not yet considered trying is Spider. I guess I just crack on and do that as well. I don't know what this. I don't know what this is. Here we can just change it up for the usual type of setups, I guess. Something like this could work. Takeover coming in here works as well, but it's the wrong affinity for 19. I think this works. But you can see, so now that we've got the gear on the right people, pretty much the same teams are running through the content. There is an Ultimate Gaelic in this account. We are going to use him for the sort of final stage 20 runs, albeit again we're just struggling for gear to make him properly work. So is he going to be the most used to us? I'm not sure. Let's get some shields going on. Let's get some decrease fence and weaken on here. Hopefully we drop turn meter. Yes, look at that nice nuke there. We've got enough champs here that drop turn meter, so turn meter is not really the problem. Spiderlings are the problem here. And we've got a couple of champs in this lineup that are just going to be able to drop all the spiderlings turn meter as well. We'll save that for a minute. And you see how easy it is when you've got champs that do the right jobs in these fights. Bit of AoE damage. Healing here from our bad L. And now we want to drop turn meter. See, it's gone real high. We're going to drop it here. Hopefully, yep, got it. Half turn meter. All the spiderlings are kind of low. There's some healing back on our tank. Almost got around to that Heart Seeker again. And that is going to be Spider 19 done. Because there's no way they're coming back from this. And I think we probably can just run the same team into Spider 20. If we struggle with it, we can try and get Ultimate Gaelic in better shape, but he's we're just struggling for gear. We're just struggling a bit for enough gear to do the job. We see here we're keeping that turn meter down. We've got enough champs that do it. In goes the nuke, which pretty much seals the deal here. We can auto this from now, and yeah, we're cracking on with Spider 20 as well. Right, so we've done the best we can with the gear we've got here to get Miscreating Monster going. Hopefully this will just give us the Spider 20 done, and then that'll be all the dungeons cleared to 20 to let Anixia to crack on with his account really. But oh god, just put the wrong team out. Oops. Put the wrong team out. So what I'm looking at here is taking out this. This is what I did for 19. Let's take out, I think these, maybe leave him in for a tank. Miscreating Monster's going to throw out the shields for us. We've got the speed here. I could put Taro out to drop defense. If we had a Stag Knight, I would say Stag Knight does it better. We don't. Yeah, I think this is where we want to go. See, I could also do this. Could do this just to give him even more support as a tank. And 3 people that drop turn meter, 4 people that drop turn meter. Let's try this. All we want is a 20 auto team. So we're not looking for the fastest runs in the world. If we had more silver, more gear, we would get Royal Guard into the mix of this team. We just don't. We're kind of scraping the barrel, even trying to get a Cold Heart up to full gear. You see that weak hit there will happen now and then. So we didn't get a decreased defense and weaken off, which is kind of why Tyrell might be useful here. It will just make things longer, but I guess this is showing like a worst case scenario of how this could run. So Colt, Heart Seeker hitting for nothing basically. That's about as bad as it's going to get. Nice thing with Miscreating Monster is the ally protection. Just takes a bit of the sting out of these poisons going on. Then obviously brings his shield as well. We've got another shield and block debuff from Warlord. So if anything, we're a bit overkill. We just had another weak hit on his decreased defense and weaken. That's meant to be a 1 in 3 chance of doing it. We just had it twice out of 2, which is pretty bad luck. But again, as I say, it's kind of like worst case scenario. Another weak hit on his bogged down. We didn't land the decreased turn meter from Warlord. This is literally like the perfect storm of the worst this run could go right now. And we're still pretty comfortable. Here we go, we landed it here. I think this is going to be when my luck starts to change. We're starting to land some stuff. We've got so much turn meter manipulation in this team that the Spider really should not get a go. Should not get a go. As soon as we get decreased defense and weaken on, everyone starts hitting harder. The Warmaster stuff starts to really take hold. Obviously, we've got turn meter gain coming in from Lysandra all the time as well. Maybe does the Spider get 1 turn? Might do. Depends what Lysandra's about to do. Yeah, looks like the Spider's going to get 1 turn. But we've already like half healthed it, which is pretty good. We've got plenty of shields here. Look at those massive shields. We're not taking too much pressure from that Spider hit. And now it's just about time. Look, this is a definite clear. We've got speed, we've got damage, we've got the decreased defense and weaken on, and we've got loads of protection now in this team. So what have we done on this takeover, guys? We have taken the clan boss to a 1 key on Nightmare, which is pretty crazy from where we were. We've re-geared a ton of champs, so that they're now effective in this game. Going by the rules, A, S, D, D. Accuracy, speed, defense, damage. That's your order. We've taken all of the dungeons to auto farm in stage 20s. It's been a long one. It's been a bit of a brutal one. The Great Hall needs work. Gearing needs work. We've done it. I've been Hell Hades, and this has been another account takeover. Catch you later.